I can't believe it, I forgot this tree. This video started 8 months ago when I went to a garden center and I bought a new tree to replace one that was sick. I went looking for a tree and I decided, let's do a little video on how do you select a bonsai from a garden center. I repotted this tree, I planted it up, I put it in the corner and then I forgot it. So now, today, why did I buy this tree? I'm going to get to that in a second. Then after I come back from the garden center and I bring this tree home, I'm going to pot it up. I'm going to show you what I did in summer. Now it looks, yeah, the buds are breaking. I'm going to wire it out, put it outside and yeah, show you the final result. So in another video we looked at this maple tree and as you can tell it is still not doing well. Some of these leaves, they look quite healthy, but the rest of the tree isn't all that great. So I think it is time to go and get some new trees. So join me for a visit to the garden center and we'll see what we can find. Acer palmatum Little Princess. This is a tree that stays small naturally and it doesn't grow much taller than, let's look at the label, it says 80 centimeters and that's in about 10 years time of growth. So we should not expect this to become a very big heavy trunk specimen. What I liked about it is the nice root flare. Of course it has nice small leaves naturally, so this is the way it looks and will stay. Next to this, the trunk is not grafted. It is now still spring and it is a little bit late for repotting, but for the purpose of this video I will do it. If you are inexperienced with bonsai, I would recommend not repotting right now. Yeah, so I guess I'm going to work against my own advice. When repotting, preparation is everything, so make sure you have a pot. You prepare the gitter for it and you put the wire in the pot so that once the tree is all bare rooted and you want to start planting, it's all ready to go. So let's take this out of the pot and let's have a look at the roots. The roots are okay, they're brown, they have some side roots, a few white spots, but it is clear that this potting soil and the combination of care is not ideal. Here are some young fresh roots, but it is quite wet. So let's remove all the old soil and let's see what's underneath it. Naturally for this I use the root hook and I gently go through the whole root ball, top to bottom, teasing off the soil of the root ball. What we can tell is that during the cutting, the rooting has been quite nice and even. So this promises to be a nice root ball. At this stage, all I'm going to do is tease the inner core out. I'm not going to prune many roots and I'm just going to plant it in this container pretty much as it is. Particularly with rooted cuttings, you will find that there's a part of the rooting medium still in the inner core. And getting this out is critical towards the future development. So it is crude work now, but it helps assembling the bonsai and in the future you'll have a better nibari. Here you see parts of the material. These were pellets that are used for rooting. Because it is middle of the season, I'm only going to clean out the root ball, and I'm not going to prune the roots all that much, except for what's needed to fit it into the pot. Once it is done, we take the pot and we put it in a spot that is protected from wind, from a lot of direct sun, and basically humid. So in my case that is halfway underneath the bench between my other maples. There I'll leave it to recover for a bit. I can't believe it, I forgot this tree. Now it looks, yeah, the buds are breaking. I'm going to wire it out, put it outside and yeah, show you the final result. Looking at this tree, there's a couple of things that I notice, and one of them is of course that the Nabari has good roots all around, but that is logical because that's one of the points that I used in the shop to select it. So that doesn't give me a front. Now if I look at the rest of the tree, what you're looking for when you're trying to create a bonsai is movement and taper. So you want the trunk to not be straight, you want it to wiggle. And you don't want it to stay thick all along the whole length of the tree. You want to gradually make it thinner. So a good way to look at trees for bonsai is often to say, well, what's the first side branch doing? So this tree goes up into this side branch. This is nice taper. It has a little bit of movement. There's a very long internode section here. And to be honest, if I just go to this as a tree, it becomes a very, very little tree. And I want it a little bit bigger. Now, if I go to this one, this could work, but there's no side branches on this one. Here the same, very little side branches. Now this one comes towards us, but it is actually very, very straight. That's not great either. This has a little bit of movement, has a few side branches, but in this part there's not much happening. So what I have come up with for this tree, and it is not optimal, is go up and go into this one. I'll use this as a side branch. I will use this as a side branch. I'm going to remove this back branch so that I get nice direct taper in here, but with a strong attachment. Here there is a little notch and there's a curve here. And then I'll have to see how far up I want to go with this one. I think this might be my top or this might be my top. I think I'm going to go for this one. I can always reduce the tree. So what we're going to do now, cut, cut, wire, 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 place, and put the soil back on. Note, I am leaving a little stub here. Later in spring I can cut it flush, but right now I don't want this wound to dry back all the way to the roots. Leaving a little stub reduces that. This I was also going to cut off. This is too long to be first branch, so the middle is going to go as well. Now if we look at the tree, yeah, let's just wire it out and see where we go. Oops. Always good to remember, even though the branch here broke, you can still make a tree out of it. I just took a back branch and I lifted that to the top. Now there's a little side branch here, there's a side branch here. I've put those into position. Little side branch from here is now in the back until I get a bud lower or higher that I can bring in. This now looks very long compared to the height of the tree, so we can reduce it. There's here 2 side branches, like that. This, as said, will go in summer. Besides that, this is now done for now. Let's put it back in the garden and wait for the leaves to pop.